We'll have to use it next time. All right, so the design of an experience. Here we go. I walked into the developer's office in Abu Dhabi, and this is sort of what I was introduced to. And I was there to do a skyscraper. These things were very tall. These models were taller than myself. And I realized very quickly that I was consumed in a culture of consumption, and it wasn't good. Now, this is very hard to see, but this is me walking, and it says architecture is, and then it's covered up, but Jared Burke helped me create this, and this was the beginning of a movement that would host architecture and would talk about ideas and consciousness and depth and all these good things. And it was supposed to be online. It was a website. But at the same time that I launched Architecture as a Verb, I bought my home. And my home became something very different. It became a metaphor for my concerns, for my feelings about experience. And this idea of storytelling. My home became a place where I can grow, where I can breathe. And so this is really where the story begins. This idea of storytelling really became an introspection of my own agreements with forms and shapes, efforts and colors, and if things were friends and not friends. Those sort of things mattered to me, and not just in the inside of the house, but also on the outside, right? So this creative play between art and architecture kind of happened at multiple scales, and it wasn't here to sort of celebrate what was considered the well-mannered box or the television. There's no internet in my house. There's no TV. There's just objects, right? Things that are invited to be inside the home, and they come loaded with stories from different museums, from friends, from different artists in town, from all over the world. Like these little, these origami things are from Tanabata, which originates in Japan, Obama's bike. And so these things all kind of come together. And the space unfolds into a silent conversation of transformation and good energy. Each piece is a visual experience. It's radical yet free. It's free from commercialism, free from ideas of concrete and steel. They operate in time and memory, proportions, material, and light. And so, the space that I imagine in my head and in my spirit, this is what I believe architecture to be. Something that can be simulated at all. And so, these pieces sort of exist, but they only exist really as objects in relationship to each other. And even when it comes to the outside, I believe that these spaces need to be thought about. So I brought in these stumps from a tree that somebody cut down in my neighborhood. But the backyard can only be thought about as a space if we can understand that objects relate to other objects. Otherwise, it's just a backyard. So I bought the bulldozer, and we put it outside. And so, Julia Schulman, this is interesting. I mean, these furniture pieces are friends, right? They're friends. But look what Julius does. He puts people, and then this relates to that, and then this guy relates to the couch, right? And in my house, I think the same thing, that we need the human body. And that the body is important to sort of telling the story about the purpose of the piece itself. But in order to get bodies, we need to design invitations, right? So that people can come and activate the furniture. Okay, because the furniture's friends, objects are related in that. And then when the furniture is having fun, because they're friends, people have fun, right? And so we have these great parties where artists and photographers come, and everyone participates in something bigger than the experience itself, okay? And this is a lot of fun for us. In fact, this is Tony Shaw, and this is Jay Alexander. Jay Alexander, it's very bright, the sun is very bright right there, and this is the City Cobra light, and that's bright. So I thought that we should have a party around that everyone would wear sunglasses. It's just a concept, but for now, everyone comes and we design food. We design, what is really becoming an experience at my home, and we call them cookouts, but they're bigger than cookouts. Everyone comes in goodwill, in good spirits, and we eat and we play music. Now, I'll give you a good example of this. was one night, Tom Batista and photographer Robert Evans comes to my house and said, let's stack all the stumps, right? And then let's have a party where everybody comes, and look at Tom here, he rejoices here, he's dancing there. And so the scene is set. Tony Shaw comes and sets up the whole backyard. The backyard is now going to become a very interesting space for everybody. And this side of creativity is happening when no one has really any money. We're broke. But you know what? No one cares. What we have is our talent, we have our creativity, and so the architecture comes out of the house. This is a piece that I purchased, it's a couch. But everyone, the family comes, right? So we have Kevin Klinger and Tom and some architects, and Doug Arnholzer's here, and Judy. And so everyone comes to play, because that's what the power of architecture does. And people in front of the architecture, they want to look beautiful in front of it, and they want to dance in front of it. And Gerald from Miami, he comes up and he had a sax in his car, and he comes in and he plays. And so the architecture is then a participant in something bigger than an event. And so, in some cases, people got on this thing. I don't know what was going on at this point, but I grabbed Judy, and then we got on the stump, and I don't know what happened, but this photograph was taken by Robert, and so there it is. At the end of the day, a stance is taken about how designing architecture is really only the beginning. And how the design of an experience under these conditions unfolds in a way that can only be told by an architecture junkie. So I want to thank you guys.